What's going on, my PT peeps and my Walking Dead family? Welcome to the PT channel. I'm One Eyebrow, back to talk about The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 14. And in this video, we're going to talk about The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 14. So if you're worried about spoilers about the episode, stop watching now because we don't want to ruin anything for you. Obviously, go check out the episode, come back, let me know your thoughts, post your comments below, all that good stuff about Season 9, Episode 14, titled Scars. Now, right off the bat, I want to say that it was a pretty good episode, but some things were pretty outrageous, and don't worry, we'll get into that. But Season 9, Episode 14, Scars, an outsider's arrival, forces Alexandria to rehash devastating old wounds. Eye-opening secrets from the past are revealed. So basically, the whole episode was then and now, back then and now, what Michonne had to do then and now, the outsider's arrival of Lydia and the outsider's arrival of Jocelyn. And I did like the idea of the flashback, Michonne, Daryl out and about. Michonne found Rick's gun. We saw what happened with that. And we saw Judith had the gun before, but I guess Michonne took it, but then Judith took it back. And the fact that Michonne is doing all this stuff while pregnant is interesting. The one thing I did not like is that Michonne and Daryl went out on their own to go after Jocelyn and the kids, to go find Judith. Michonne is pregnant, very pregnant. And the fact that she's out there by herself looking for Rick and then trying to find Judith, and it's just like too much. And I liked it early on because Daryl was with her. She could really handle walkers. They're out looking a little bit. I could buy that a little bit. But when Daryl and Michonne were out looking for Judith and Jocelyn and the kids, she was very pregnant. She could barely walk. She could definitely not run. And it was not something that she should be doing out there by herself. Where was Scott? Where was Aaron? Where was this? Where was that? Where were all these people? Eugene, Rosita, Father Gabriel. Just Daryl was with her the entire time. And it was just like, come on. More people definitely should have been with her. But the parallels were basically Michonne, what she's been through in the past and where she is now. And I can see that. I understand that dynamic, but it just doesn't make sense when you have a pregnant woman who is your leader at Alexandria, by the way, to put her in any precarious situation. More people should have been out there with her, but I do like the origin of finding the gun, and it was kind of cool. But ultimately, Daryl, Michonne, Judith are connected, hopefully going forward. I want to know what happens next episode. And this episode I felt was on the bottle filler side. It was like, okay, we brought these scars in to be answered so many episodes later, and I still have questions. And don't worry, I'll get to those in a second. Well, probably a couple minutes, but you know what I'm saying. But overall, I thought the episode was pretty good, and I'm excited to see where it goes, especially next week's episode. Back to the fair, present timeline, and I definitely love Michonne. And Judith are some of my favorite characters on the show right now. Michonne will always be one of my favorite characters, and Judith, I believe, is the future of the show, and I was glad to see her have a little more screen time. Also, we saw RJ, and it was good that he had more than one clip of just him and Michonne. He was interacting with other kids, and Judith, he was at the dinner table, so that was pretty cool. And also, I thought it was cute when Aaron was walking with baby Gracie. Did you catch that part? Now, as for Michonne, we could understand her dilemma a little bit here, especially with the kids. And then in the present timeline, Lydia. But Lydia was with Daryl. And you should really trust what Daryl says, especially with people. And if he says they're okay, you should really trust him. So I'm glad that Michonne did trust him. They stitched up Henry, and he's on their way to the kingdom. And then at the end, we saw them get in some weird horse and buggy minivan contraption, which was pretty awesome. I thought that was a pretty cool thing to see, but we'll see what happens next week. As for Daryl and Judith, I thought it was great. I thought the dialogue could have been a little bit more, but I'm glad to see Daryl and Judith interacting. I can't remember the last time we saw them interact. I said it before in other videos that I would like to see them mention Daryl's nickname for Judith, Little Ass Kicker. It didn't happen, but it can possibly down the road. And I did like the dialogue with Daryl and Judith overall, and I had to make the joke when Judith asked Daryl, "What would my dad do?" And I just think that Daryl's thinking, oh, you mean Shane? Like, I just had to make that joke when I was singing, but we know it's Rick, and it's just that dynamic of there too. But what are you getting at, Judith? What are you saying? That if Rick was around, things would be different? I mean, how did you take it? What do you think Judith meant by that line? Now let's get to the X scars. To me, I think the X scar on Daryl and Michonne's back was interesting. It was something that we thought about for a while. And the reasoning for this happened in a crazy way, in a terrible way. And then we find out it was by these crazy Children of the Corn kids. It was like, what? What is that? And what was the purpose of the brand anyway? Why did Jocelyn have these kids do that to them? What was the point of that? to show them that you're strong and you can do this? Why didn't she have the kids just take them out? But it was just creepy and weird. And also, why does Diane and Hilltop and Tara not like Michonne? Is it because of the fair that Michonne didn't want any part of it? Is that why Diane's pissed at Michonne? Come to our fair. Michonne's like, no. And Diane's like, I hate you. Is that what it is? And why does Tara hate Michonne? How did Michonne get that haircut right there? Still don't know. Are we going to get a flashback for that, or what's the reason behind it? But again, why does Tara not like Michonne, and why did she leave? Because we saw Tara with Jesus in the flashback a couple episodes ago that she took the charter and gave it to Michonne, basically stole from Alexandria. But was Michonne a changed person after all this, and Tara couldn't get any answers from Michonne, and Michonne didn't say anything about what happened? I wonder if we're ever going to get that answer. As for the Negan-Michonne dialogue, I definitely liked it. I like that Negan was saying, like, look, Judith's going to be who she is. She's like you. She's tough. It was just a good wake-up call for Michonne, and I liked it. I just hope Negan gets out of the jail cell. I didn't think it would happen in this episode, but hopefully it happens. As for the school, did anybody recognize it? We haven't seen it before. Well, we have. Not this season, I believe. I believe the filming of this school was actually seen way back in season 5 with the termites and Bob Stuckey and also Father Gabriel in season 5. And I could be wrong, but I believe from the Spoiling Dead fans and some other groups that were out and about on those days of filming, I believe it's the same filming location. I could be wrong. Let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below if you know where they filmed that. As for the jacket that Michonne is wearing right here and was wearing in the episode and parts of it, I believe it's Rick's jacket from season 9, episode 2 or 3, I believe. I believe it's episode 902. But it makes sense that Michonne is wearing Rick's jacket because she loves Rick. She cares about Rick, and it wouldn't be way out there if she was wearing Rick's jacket, and it just makes sense that she would want to wear something or have something that was Rick's. She was wearing Rick's gun out and about, so it was pretty cool to see that. And I love those little connections, Easter eggs, and all that. As for the kids, it was just too much to see, and I just felt like, what am I watching here? Michonne did not want to hurt these kids, and I can feel for that and understand that what Michonne was thinking. But these kids were little soldiers, little savages, it was just weird. It was just weird to see Michonne put in the situation. And when Michonne's stomach got cut, I was like, oh man, that is terrible. Who thought that was a good idea? Especially since she's pregnant. Daryl was inside, I guess, taking out more people or kids in there or something, but it was Michonne having to fight all these kids, and that Jocelyn character, man, it was just terrible to witness that. I wasn't a big fan of that whole situation. It was almost like too much to be like, I don't really feel comfortable watching this at times. I know it's acting, I know it's that, but it was kind of a letdown to see that put into the show, like these kids. And I don't really buy the fact that Jocelyn just randomly came across Alexandria so many years into the zombie apocalypse, knew Michonne from way back in the day, whether it was high school, middle school, college, whatever, 15 years ago, they knew each other, and then Jocelyn just came across like that. I don't know. It's hard to believe. But Michonne comes and saves Judith, and I'm glad because I don't want Judith hurt. And I'm really glad that Judith was not captured and then traded, and it was just Michonne coming to rescue Judith. And I do like the dynamic of Michonne and Judith. And Judith is smart and she remembers everything, and she's an awesome, awesome character for the future, and I want her to be around for a long time. But the Michonne-Judith dynamic should hopefully improve. The whole thing about it was there was minimal to no communication, and that's never a good thing. Whether it's a zombie apocalypse, mother-daughter, father-son, wife, husband, whatever it is, communication is key. And we saw that right here. It was just another example of that. I did like the dynamic of Judith and Michonne really talking to each other and being there for each other and then going to the kingdom. They just met up with Daryl, Lydia, Henry, Dog, and Connie a little too easily. But I did like the callbacks to Carl's grave and the dialogue with Judith and Michonne. It was great. I think Judith steals the scenes in a good way. And she's kind of like Jerry. Like, what is she going to say? What is she going to do? I'm excited. But ultimately, we saw the kingdom at the very end of the episode. We saw the whispers outside of the kingdom. And we don't know how they got there. Did they just randomly come across it? Or did someone tell them where it was? We still don't know. I can't wait to find out. Well, season 9, episode 14 is done. It's in the books. Let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. To me, I really kind of felt like it was a filler bottle episode that didn't want to be a bottle episode. We want to talk about the present day timeline a little bit and progress it for next week. But we also wanted a backstory in there, and it was the parallels of then and now, where Michonne came and where she is now, and she's going to be changing for the good. But then we're going to have the fair and the whispers, so you know what's going to happen with that. So let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Thank you guys for watching. I truly appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button to become a valued member of our PT channel, Walking Dead family. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, making memories, and tell them, Daryl.
Yo, we love you guys. Honestly, thank you.